The brand new Heroic Anthem power-up version of KvK is now available for registration in some kingdoms. This is a version that has arrow towers, blockades, and season-exclusive commanders that you get access to only when you're in the new season. And there are some very important things we can learn just by looking at the rules of this new Pioneer registration for this event. But unfortunately, you still only get back half your troops at the end of KvK. If only there were a game where you got back 100% of your troops from KvK. Oh, let me tell you about the sponsor of this video, War and Order. In War and Order, your troops don't die when you're battling against other kingdoms in KvK. Here it's called the Realm Invasion, where you invade other realms, and instead of losing your troops forever, or even losing half your troops that have died forever, none of your troops die, they all just become wounded so that you can fight to your heart's content as long as you've got the resources to do so. And I'm having a lot of fun playing this game. I'm on my second month now. I'm in realm 1492, and at this point we've powered our way up to having the strongest alliance in the realm. If you want to join us and play War and Order, follow the link in the description. That will support the channel. It's 100% free to you to download the game and check it out. And yes, this is a free-to-play game like Rise of Kingdoms, where you build up your city, you collect equipment, you collect artifacts, you even have a beast pet. I've got this sweet phoenix, and I'm having a lot of fun playing this game. I think you will as well. Use the link in the description if you want to check out War and Order. Thank you again to them for sponsoring this video, and let's get right into it. I am so hyped that we're registered for the new flavor of KvK in Kingdom 2. This is exactly why I have an account here and exactly why I have stayed here. This is awesome. So the Heroic Anthem power-up version of KvK gives us an extra reward just for choosing it, and there is a limited number of registration slots. The developers seem to have increased the number of registration slots. It was previously capped at 60, and now it's capped at 80. A lot of people are showing interest in this game mode because they want to see siege commanders and how cool they are or aren't. And I mean, if you collect these commanders, they want to start that process of collecting them over time, although I think you probably can get them entirely within the one version of KvK. Now, looking into the rules, there's some very, very, very important things that we learn here, and I gotta give credit to where credit is due, to my alliance. There was a bunch of people in voice talking about this, which is why and how I figured this out. However, ranged combat is in this mode. You will have access to 2 story-exclusive Soroli chieftains. So they are recycling the Soroli commanders and giving them to you in this game mode for use as a commander you can turn into a siege tower. Now, they can direct siege units to turn into arrow towers to conduct long-range bombardments on enemy troops, an effective suppression technique. Note, and this is the most important thing, damage from arrow towers can only leave enemy slightly wounded. There are no severe wounds, no hospital bill when you get hit by arrow towers. Thank God. Can you imagine just like trying to run your troops somewhere and you get a full hospital and you didn't even hit them? So there's more. Alliance flags can also be converted into arrow towers, which is insane. And I was like, wow, are people just going to get zeroed off of arrow towers? But no, they will reduce the enemy city's wall durability, but cannot inflict casualties to troops within. So this will make it so if you were to turn your, I guess, flag into an arrow tower, there is some range. And with that range, it's going to work on the wall durability. And when your wall durability reaches 0, you get ported. And I think this can even hit you even if your city is bubbled, which is a bit of a GG. So if you were to try to port forward a farm to fill with, that may not be possible. And it may not be a bad thing to try to prevent people from filling with farms. Like, I get that farm meta is a thing, but some kingdoms take this way too seriously. And they have, I mean, just an uncanny number of farms with troops that they fill with. And it's like, bro, it just gets weird as to like, how should I spend my time in this game? Should I spend my time having one great main account, or should I have 24 accounts, all training troops, and then I all fill things? Technically, the 24 accounts for most players is actually stronger. So So this new version of KvK actually starts to, I think, alleviate some of that pressure, maybe, where you really want your farm to be ported right on top of a flag to go and fill. Otherwise, you got to run around and, I mean, maybe I'll pull it off. Maybe. It gets a little weird to try to reinforce with a farm from far away. I guess it doesn't really entirely solve the problem, but let's keep going here in the rules. Troop blockades. Your troops and other friendly troops can blockade non-allied troops on the map while allowing free passage to allies. Wow, okay. If your troops block non-allied troops, your troops can be directed either to stand their ground with a peaceful stance or launch an attack with the aggressive stance. You can select your preferred blockade stance from the armies panel. So I don't see anything here about sev wounds. If I am a blockade, do I normal attack, counterattack, and do skill damage? All just the same? And only when you come up and like bump into me, you can't pass me, but also I can't walk. I guess that's the disadvantage of going in blockade mode, is like you can't go anywhere, presumably. But imagine this situation where like you've got some allies that run in front of the line. They do some fighting. They're getting low health. They run behind the blockade, and the enemy can't get through your blockade. You have escaped. This is going to put a lot of, I think, tactical gameplay as a very, very relevant strategy for how you push a field. It's not just like everybody running in, but some number of people are arrow towers, some number of people form blockades, and I hope that I can deploy siege units on this count and like be an effective arrow tower with a commander that I can get entirely within this KvK. Maybe, I don't know. But as soon as we enter this KvK, I'm making videos about it, 100%. Going to show you everything we can figure out here. Now, fog. Oh God, there's fog. The map will be covered in fog. Governors must send scouts. GG. Save your maps. Save your maps. You have to clear the fog to understand the terrain. Bastions. While clearing the fog, scouts may come across bastions. A commander and their troops are stationed in each garrison. There are a total of 14 bastions. I don't know that there are bastion skills. Oh, wait. Support skills. Each troop can use an additional 2 support skills. Wow, so there are also support skills in this version of KvK. I mean, this really is a powered-up version of Heroic Anthem. You've got support skills, and on top of it, you have arrow towers, 2 new exclusive commanders to the season, and you have blockades. And is there more? Let's keep looking here. You've got crystal mines, upgrades, crystal tech. Okay, the rest of this, I think, looks the same. The reward system is all the same. The camp system, this all looks very familiar. Wow. I expect that the map just is a Heroic Anthem map and nothing else has changed, which I think is pretty smart on the part of the developers to take less effort recreating maps that we're probably just going to think aren't balanced anyways, and to use a map that is fairly balanced with maybe a few exceptions, and to just change around a few of the mechanics in a way that actually seems like really fun. Now, the shop here does seem 100% the same with what we see everywhere else in Heroic Anthem version of KvK. You can't actually buy anything yet until you are in the version of KvK. And there is an extra about section that explains the Pioneer system and why it is that they give you extra rewards for queuing up for this particular version of KvK. And I would say, historically, like, I mean, the experience of the Pioneers, you definitely get access first, but you also can expect to have to give some feedback. I would say the second group to go in is likely to have a more fun experience with the refinements that the developers will ultimately make. But the developers themselves say this story offers brand new combat and diplomacy options. Diplomacy options. Did I miss the diplomacy options? Hold on. New range strategies. Participating governors will gain access to the 2 story exclusive Soroli chieftains. Okay. We covered all this. Blockades. We covered coalition diplomacy. Coalitions can ally with each other. Friendly troops belonging to an allied coalition will be viewed as friendly for the duration of the relationship. Also, any alliances under the same coalition union will be allied by default. Oh, you know why they're doing this, right? They're doing this because of how arrow towers work and blockades work. And if you have 2 people, 2 coalitions, but people are from different coalitions, you don't want the arrow towers hitting each other. They got to know who to hit. I guess they could have just programmed it to say, like, only affect your own war camp, but it's easier to just make all of them friendly. So that's actually really interesting. And Alliance Arrow Towers, Alliance leaders and officers have the option of converting Crusader flags into Alliance Arrow Towers, which can effectively take out nearby non-allied cities. I don't know what the downside is of making the Arrow Tower. I suspect that there's just an extra cost, and then you pay that cost and, well, then it's upgraded. I think it might just be upgraded, like just better, just a better Crusader flag, but the cost might be prohibitive. I don't know if it's going to cost you crystals or just resources or neither, but if it costs you any of those critical resources, like it'll make you think twice about doing it. And yes, they want lots of feedback. Ooh, participating governors in our Pioneer story will be eligible for base and participation rewards in addition to the additional reward or original rewards associated with the story. Limited commanders included with the rewards, Wafura and Torgny, can only be deployed on this story map and must be returned at the conclusion. So, the commanders, Wafura and Torgny, are probably the two commanders we'll be getting that do the siege unit goodness. Okay, cool. Wow. Now, did I miss somehow this, like, coalition diplomacy? I did. Coalition diplomacy, they're free to ally with each other, and once allied, the troops on both sides will... Oh, okay. I need to read more carefully, because I just saw coalitions. I was like, whatever, coalitions. We're used to coalitions. No, this is different. This is definitely different. Coalitions, free to ally with each other, and once allied, the troops of both sides will be viewed, each other's troops, as friendly and allow safe passage or free passage. I should stop improving and just 100% read it exactly as it is. Alliances under the same coalition will be considered allies by default. Plot twist. What if one of the support skills is one of the commanders that does siege unit stuff? I don't think they're going to do that, but it'd be cool, but they're probably not going to do that, right? But that will be kind of... I'm going to give the siege tower skill to another... I actually don't think... I mean, I don't know. As an account that's 35 million power, will I be able to do cool stuff with the new commanders? Will I get these commanders for free? Will I be able to get these commanders maxed out as a 35 million power account? I just don't know. Does everybody get these commanders? I hope so, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was some quest to unlock them, some things you had to do. Hopefully not some things you have to buy, but if you enjoyed this video, throw a like on here and consider subscribing, because you're not going to want to miss when I enter this version of KvK. I've got a registration window here of 3 days. Then there'll be another matchmaking period and all that kind of stuff. Then there'll be another 6 days of the Eve of the Crusade, and as soon as I enter this thing, I'll stream it, and you can see all the awesome stuff. And until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom. Check out our sponsor, linked down below, to come play War and Order. I'm having a lot of fun playing it.